Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Peter Opondo Kaluma, Raila Odinga key ally, the Homa Bay town member of parliament, caused a huge political storm on Twitter. According to Opondo, Mount Kenya is gone, and therefore William Ruto should forget about Mount Kenya. I want that tweet by Opondo Kaluma to form the basis of this analysis. Of course, going through that tweet, there are certain aspects I don't agree to, but I want to focus on the main issue. Mount Kenya and their support for William Ruto's re-election bid in 2027. First of all, let me take you through that tweet by Opondo Kaluma. This is what Opondo Kaluma posted, and I want you guys to tell me whether he's right or wrong. Forget about the tribal undertones in the post. This is what Opondo Kaluma posted. President William Ruto, Mount Kenya is gone. Kabisa. They didn't vote for you. They voted against Raila due to their undone 1969 Wamera oath. I think Opondo Kaluma has a point up to that point. The truth is, William Ruto assumed that the mountain voted for him out of love. In fact, in the last election, I used to question that if the mountain could leave Uhuru Kenyatta, a man they used to call all sorts of names, very sweet names. In fact, according to the mountain, Uhuru Kenyatta was the anointed one. They left Uhuru and voted for Ruto. The mountain did not love Ruto. The truth is, the mountain rebelled against Uhuru Kenyatta because Uhuru Kenyatta fronted Raila Odinga. Up to that point, let's agree, Opondo Kaluma is correct. And the truth is, William Ruto assumed that the mountain loved him and is proceeding here. In exchange for their votes, they were to rule as you reign. You were to repay their votes by excluding other Kenyans, especially Luos, from development and public service. Gachagua was their messenger for this. I don't think that was the main thing, because William Ruto's government had Luos while he was a minister. William Ruto had the opportunity of appointing other Luos apart from ODM party. The truth is, William Ruto had assumed that the mountain loved him. And when he brought Raila Odinga on board, he angered the mountain. Because there are people in the mountain from birth who grew up knowing that Raila Odinga is the enemy. And of course, even William Ruto himself committed a mistake by winning the support of the mountain using Raila Odinga's name. Even me, I can't allow you to tell me that so and so is bad, then I vote for you, then after that, you bring that guy. Then why are you telling me he is bad? So up to that point, to some extent, Opondo's language is not very right, but here's a point. Let us proceed. By insisting on ethnic and regional inclusion in your government and in sharing of national resources, you have committed a fundamental breach of their ethnic creed. Again, Opondo Kaluma is wrong here. William Ruto reached out to Raila Odinga after falling out with the mountain, because he thought he had full control over the mountain. And when Rigathi started rebelling, realized that the mountain was going, but the best way was to now bring Raila Odinga on board to stabilize his government. And he's proceeding here. No amount of project and public service appointment will return them. Smell the coffee. Act fast to consolidate your new bases. Refuse to heed and perish. But the truth is, there is nothing William Ruto can do now to salvage the mountain. The mountain is gone. In fact, William Ruto can even appoint more cabinet secretaries from the mountain to his cabinet. But nothing will change because the people of the mountain have already made up their mind that for William Ruto, it's a no. And I don't think now it has everything or anything to do with Raila Odinga. In fact, I'm now persuaded that in the mountain, if elections were to be held and you had to put Raila and Ruto, I'm 100% sure Ruto cannot get the 87% he got against Raila Odinga. Maybe those figures would go to 50-something against 40-something. That is the reality. But do you think or do you believe that the mountain is gone? For me, I strongly believe that the mountain is gone. But what are William Ruto's options? In this video, I want to explain why the mountain is gone and William Ruto's limited options ahead of 2027. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. First of all, the mountain is gone. And there is nothing William Ruto will do to salvage the mountain. And moving forward, I was having some discussion with a friend of mine. He was like, you see, Lee, Ruto is hated in the mountain, but in Nyanza is still loved. And I told him it's wrong. The hate against Ruto is across board. The only reason why people think that Ruto is more hated in the mountain is because the mountain voted for him. And because the mountain voted for him, they were receptive. Now, they are not receptive. So it's very clear. But for places like Nyanza, where you see these guys really did not bother about him, so it means now he can go there, people can listen to him. It doesn't mean that they have the support. Ruto has the support of the Luo nation. But the truth is the mountain is gone for William Ruto because of these very few reasons. Number one, the betrayal. The mountain feels that William Ruto betrayed them. In fact, that issue of oath and Raila Odinga can be argued to be the main reason of the feeling of betrayal, because he told them, you see, Raila is a bad man. Then he goes and works with Raila Odinga. So they strongly feel that Ruto has betrayed them. Then there is the expectation. And again, this one I blame purely on William Ruto. William Ruto gave hope. And people raised their expectations. I always use the case of Kisumu, where my governor is Anyang' Nyong'o. When Nyong'o was campaigning, very few people had high expectations of him. People just knew they want Nyong'o because Nyong'o can put up systems, but they never expected heaven from Nyong'o. And that's why people are appreciating what Professor Anyang' Nyong'o is doing in Kisumu, because the expectations were lower. But for William Ruto, he told the mountain that all your problems are as a result of Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta. Once we remove these people, then all those problems are going to disappear. These people heed to his advice. They vote for him, deny Uhuru and Raila the vote. Nothing is happening. So they are very bitter. Of course, there is also, the mountain also feels that their numbers don't count in this government. I don't know how this can be quantified, but I have a feeling that maybe the mountain is wrong here, because if you look at the cabinet, they have the highest number of appointments. They ensured that they were appointed, but maybe there are other issues. And of course, there's also the Raila phobia. How do you bring Raila Odinga on board? How do you bring, you see, how do you make Mbadi the minister in charge of treasury? That's our docket. And of course, the truth is, the foundation on which UDA was founded was also wrong. You can't form a party on the basis of tribal mobilization, on the basis of lies. Because in most cases, lies will always jitenga, and the truth will always stand. So right now, the lie has separated. So these people are like, okay, you guys cheated us. The foundation of UDA was wrong. But the biggest question is, what are William Ruto's options? What can he do? Because for William Ruto, the mountain is gone. Where can he get the votes to cover for that loss? Can he win the presidency again minus the mountain? What about the feeling of betrayal? How can he deal with it? The answer to those is that he must have certain options. And for me, the first option for William Ruto is the choice of the running mate. You see, a choice of a running mate is very important. That's why when Rigathi Gachagua was removed and Kindiki was picked, that was a wrong choice, politically speaking. And that's why Kindiki is not winning the hearts of the mountain. In fact, if I were Ruto at that time, I would have just picked Ichungwa. Wapigane tu huko. But for Ruto in 2027, if I were him, I'd not pick a running mate from the mountain for two main reasons. Number one, the mountain has already decided. So whether you give them the deputy president, they are not going to vote for William Ruto. In fact, that was one of the biggest mistakes Raila Odinga committed in the last election. Because even in the last election, those from the mountain who had decided to vote for Raila Odinga, they were going to vote for Raila Odinga, whether Raila Odinga had picked Martha Karua or someone else. They had made their mind. So for William Ruto, the mountain is gone. No amount of appointment will change that. So he must pick the right running mate. A running mate who can bring for him the numbers. And that's why, for me, at some point, I even feel that if Ruto were to team up with Raila Odinga, I'm just saying, and make Raila Odinga the running mate, for me, that can help. But the choice of the running mate is the main thing for William Ruto. That's the only way he can salvage his re-election bid. Because if William Ruto were to pick a wrong running mate, very difficult, because the ground is gone. Number two, I think William Ruto should now start focusing more on Azimio strongholds. And I don't know how he's going to do it, because right now he's focusing on ODM. But you see, ODM is a movement. ODM supporters believe in Raila Odinga, which means they can follow Raila Odinga or defy Raila Odinga. What if ODM strongholds were to defy Raila Odinga? Mountain is gone, then Raila Odinga supporters also defy Raila. They say, okay, sisi maneno ya Ruto, what will happen? So Ruto should figure out how he can start persuading people like Alonso, in my view. And this is sure of the support from Raila Odinga. The Raila I know reaches the ground. And I can tell you, the ground is not very good for William Ruto so far. Number three, and this is something which can unite the mountain, but it's not something I would advocate for. William Ruto can use the divide and rule tactics. This is a tactic that Moi used long time ago. It worked. Get two serious candidates from the mountain, sponsor them. Let them divide the mountain so that the mountain will not vote in one block, in one basket. Then they'll be irrelevant. For example, if the total vote from the mountain is 4 million and you have two candidates, strong ones, they might split it. So at the end of the day, when it comes to negotiations, their value will go down. Rather than if the mountain were to be allowed to rally around a candidate. Like if Mount Kenya were to be allowed to rally around a single candidate from the mountain, even if that candidate will not win the presidency, he will have the numbers. Again, even if the mountain will not rally around one of their own, let's say they rally around Kalonzo or Matiang'i, again, that will be dangerous for William Ruto. So William Ruto must ensure that the mountain is divided at all cost. Have someone, credible candidates to run. Number four is, which is my last point, is money and state machinery. William Ruto must use state machinery effective. Number four, which is my last point, is money and state machinery. William Ruto must use state machinery effectively. Because if you want to use state machinery effectively, he's going to lose. Let me explain. In the last election, William Ruto literally bought the mountain using money. Through church. Through funerals. And through elected leaders. State machinery can also be used effectively by skewed developments which are strategic. But state machinery can also make you lose. Like, I think one of the reasons why William Ruto is losing support is the use of force. Something is telling him that with the state machinery, he can do whatever he wants to Kenyans. But Kenyans are resistant. They are resisting. So if William Ruto were to say, okay, I'm not going to start dealing with the mountain. I want to go and unleash Mungiki on them. I want to start arresting them. I want to start abducting their people. Well, he's going to regret. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. Till next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.